Hi everyone, it's me, Billo. Now just like you, I often get asked questions by my friends and neighbors of things that maybe I can help them out with. Things like, where can I get good Mexican food? How deep can a coyote dig? Where can I buy surgical equipment? Can you help me start a fire? And these are all great requests, but the one I get most often is, can you help me to pick a lock? Well, yes I can. And today, good folks, I'm going to show you how to do it too. But there's one thing I want to stress before we begin. Locks are like noses. You're going to get into a lot of trouble if you pick somebody else's. First, let's talk terminology. We have the lock and key, which you're already familiar with. The important part we want to learn about today is the plug and the pins. And I'm going to show those to you in just a minute. The plug is the cylinder inside of the lock. It's the actual piece that you put your key into. It's the part that turns when you turn the key. For most locks, on one side of the plug are a series of pins. The pins push along the shafts into the lock. When the pins are in place, the shaft or the plug cannot turn and you cannot unlock the lock. Each shaft has got two pins, the driver pin and the key pin. The pins prevent the plug from spinning freely unless they're lined up along the shear line. The shear line is the line that separates the plug from the lock. Now when you pick a lock, what you're doing is manually pushing each pin up to the shear line. It sounds a lot more difficult than it is, and I'll show you up close. Here is a standard lock pick set. One of the most important tools in the set is the tension bar. You will use this to keep gentle pressure on the plug. Each of the picks is intended to give you some variety while working. Some folks will only use one pick. Others find different picks work better at different times. This is a rake, and it's a less than elegant tool. With this tool, instead of carefully picking one pin at a time, you insert this into the lock and quickly rake it across all of the pins, hoping to hit magic. Sometimes it works, so it's a good tool to start with. If the rake doesn't work, then you're going to need to work on the pins individually. For that, you're going to need a basic pick like this. Again, first insert the tension rod, and then start feeling for the pins. For as well made as locks are, they're not perfect. The pin shafts won't perfectly line up with the plug. When you push with the tension rod, one pin will catch before the others. Work your pick over the pins until you find the one that's catching, and then gently push that up until it releases. When it does, the plug will slightly turn and the next pin will get locked. And then you'll repeat the process on that pin. Now, if you're lucky, it'll only take as long as it takes on television. The first lock you pick may take you a while, so get a chair and get yourself comfortable and start working on it. And that's really all there is to it. So get your chair, take your time, and practice, practice, practice. And remember the schnoz rule. Only pick your own.